This your boy Moochie Moochie, and I am the host with my comrades Pablo Gary and Danny Hint. This is the House of Birds. What's good? What's good, fellas?
What's going on, bro? How y'all feeling?
I mean, we here. The question is, are we gonna be 4-5 by Sunday?
I
Uh,
hope so.
before we get into that, can we do something a little special, even though it's not really about the Eagles, but I think it's a serious topic. Um, I want to talk about the Henry Ruggs situation just a little bit, just briefly. And the reason why I say that is because you gotta think about it. If your best friend, right? You met up with your best friend on Sunday, okay? You guys haven't seen each other in a long time, and then that Monday or Tuesday, you know, that your best friend is sitting in jail,
hmm
facing some real serious, um, you know, prison time, really, that would affect all of us right now or anybody watching. And we all know that Devontae Smith and, Henry Ruggs, they were college, roommates. And I know that Devontae Smith is a strong cat mentally, but, we can just get away from football really quick. This guy's probably going through it right now, man. He's probably going through it. And I don't think it's going to affect his on field play, but when you look at the Henry Ruggs situation, it sucks. And you know why it's crazy for me? Because I just started a franchise on Madden, and the very first person that I traded for, because this is something that I thought the Eagles could actually really do in real life. Like, these guys are best friends. I thought the Eagles could really bring in Henry Ruggs, maybe his first contract. Maybe it didn't work out with the Raiders. I thought we could. He's someone. He's only 22, right?
hmm
We got him. He probably would have been 24 going into 25. So, um, it's a crazy situation, man. What do you guys? What's your take on it, man?
All right,
I,
so well, let me say something real quick. So this morning I was taking my daughter to school. When I was taking my daughter to school, I seen something came up on the watch. Of course, the on my watch it said Raiders just released Henry Ruggs. So immediately I said, "Oh snap!" I said, "Yo, the Eagles need to pick him up. What are y'all doing? What are y'all doing?" You know what I'm saying? So, but I didn't look at my watch at all. Like again, I took my daughter to school. After I took my daughter to school, I still didn't check it. I was like, football was on my mind, but I was just like on some, yo, Henry Ruggs. That would look like a thorough situation. Like,
Alabama guy.
and
hmm
because Jalen Rager's out with an ankle injury, JJ Arcega-Whiteside, he might be out. So I'm like, they need to bite on this. You know what I'm saying? So then as soon as I get in the truck, and I'm about to make my rounds, I'm on the phone for a minute. And then after I get off the phone, I said, all right, now let me go ahead and check it. And then once I check it, they released him because of the situation, him going 156 miles, DUI, hit a young lady. Condolences to the young lady that's 23 years
Sure,
old and the
hmm
family.
for sure.
I was just like, oh man, this is unbelievable. I never thought that. I thought it was they let him go because he did something else or he just wasn't, contributing to the team. But I'm like, he was the leading receiver on the team. So what's going on? So after I seen that, that just messed me all up. Like that brought me down to a
Yeah.
point where, and I had to think for a minute. Then when I seen his picture, and then I think he looking at it as he realizes like what he has done. So it's like, I mean, all I could do is just again a condolence to the family, but you still got to pray about it because it's like wow, I would have never thought that at all because that didn't even hit my mind. It was just he got released. Eagles need to pick him up. Like that was my first thing because I was thinking about football, but not even knowing the story. So again, that's my apologies on just thinking selfish of myself without me even knowing the full facts of everything. So
hmm I mean,
shout out
it's
to Jalen Pierce and Richie MC. What's good with you?
I mean, it's still kind of crazy to think about because I mean, he's legit like almost exactly 3 years older than me. So
Wow.
it's kind of like
Mm.
it's crazy. It's like I remember watching you play college football as a freshman, and now you're this happened. It's just like my condolences, especially for the family. But it's
And he
just
only
rough to
been in the
see.
league for what, 2 years
This
now?
is his second year, yeah.
Yeah, man.
And
Ah,
he started having a breakout season, and
Yeah, he was leading the Raiders. He already eclipsed more yards than he had in his rookie year. And it's beyond football, right? Like for me, what it taught me, man, is like life can happen like that.
mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like if you go on his Instagram and you look at the picture with him and Devontae Smith, they're doing like their famous little dunk
Yeah,
celebration. It's like wow,
yeah.
man, it was like under
that was
72
legit.
hours.
That was like a week ago.
Yeah, not even that. Was it? Was it
It was
Sunday?
legit. I think it was a week ago Sunday. So,
Yeah, you know what I mean. So it's crazy how fast things can change, and so just taking this opportunity to our audience, whatever it is that you're going through in life, man, just slow down. I know it may be tough, it may be rough, but just take a second, think about it. Whatever it is, not even just driving. You know what I mean? Some people
life.
make split second, just life in general, man. People
Right.
just make split second decisions, and just like that, it's over. We could talk football all day long. We can chop it up and do all that, but at the end of the day, we all have our, personal lives. And man, I would hate to see anybody that follows this channel, go out like that, man. This kid is facing 20 to 46 years, man. So
Well,
Right.
it's
actually,
serious. It's serious stuff.
I'm pretty sure it's only. I think they said it was like 2 to 20 years.
The maximum is 46, though.
But like no, because he's an NFL athlete, he's a decent name. I mean, if I had to take a guess, he'll probably do maybe 3,
Mm-mm.
4.
No, not in this situation, because
Keep
you're talking about. It's
Mm-mm.
not like he just had a DUI and he didn't do nothing to somebody. It's he
No, I
did
know. I'm
something
just
to
saying.
somebody,
Like, I mean, if
and
it was
this
a
ain't no
DUI, it would have just been like a wrist slap.
right. And it's not like if he didn't do nothing. I mean, if he didn't, do something to somebody, then if he was to go face for 3 years, maybe he can come back. But now you done did this. There's no
Yeah.
coming back.
The problem is he has two other factors that's not working in his favor. And I know a lot of people, because when I thought about the situation, I'm like, man, how did you guys know Dante Stallworth? He's not the first player
Right.
that.
I was about to bring that up. Yep.
And so a lot of people, include myself, I'm like, so what's the difference? How did Dante Stallworth get 30 days and suspended from the league, for only a year? But what saved Dante Stallworth was the fact that the person who he hit was jaywalking. So they wasn't even supposed to be doing that, be there anyway. But he's not supposed to be under the influence, but that's how he got off. They were jaywalking. When you talking about somebody going 156 miles per hour, it's going to be hard to defend that, Jack.
Yeah.
It's going to be hard. And then you got a pistol. And let me preface by saying this, because I don't want to stigmatize this young black man, because he's never had any legal issues, right? He's in the National Football League, right? He has a 2020 Corvette. Got to protect himself. All right. He could be a legal carrier for, they didn't say that, but we got to put that out there. But you got a pistol, you're going 156 miles, and then I'm hearing he was like,
he wasn't alone in the car.
Right.
Richard just said it too. Does the passenger share any responsibility for not trying to stop him?
No, I've heard there was a girl in the car, so maybe he was trying to impress. I don't know.
Not while you drunk though, and if you drunk, that's what I want to. I want to know, what did he done?
You're not thinking.
I'm pretty sure if I'm drunk, I'm pretty sure none of y'all wouldn't want me to get into the car.
Well, of course.
And drive off. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, who was around him? If hypothetically, if I'm the breadwinner or if I'm the one that's getting this money and then I'm going 156, the girl that whoever he was with should have said, "You relax, chill out." You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. The girl and that was his girlfriend. But then we wanted, we're like standing really close to the elephant. They're saying that he was at Top Golf. So the question becomes, all the guys who you were drinking with. I know some of them guys played in the NFL, right? So nobody.
None of them called an Uber for you.
Nobody saw you drinking and said, "Hey man, chill out," or "Hey Ruggs, man, you had about 10 already. You know you got to let me call an Uber for you."
And like the thing is NFL players get free Uber rides.
Didn't know that.
Yeah, the
But I mean,
NFL
again,
set up a system for situations like this.
so then they're
Well,
gonna put that into the case, then So it's like, but
negligence,
again, if you
negligence.
getting this much money, if you're the breadwinner and you're in, well, then that you're in Vegas and you're in Top Golf. I mean, if you're trying to get home, I'm pretty sure. Again, I don't think he was trying to impress because I mean, or is there no way you could be that? Was he that drunk that he was just
He
all
said
over
he
the
was.
place?
He said it. They said this alcoholic level was twice the legal limit.
And the good thing is he didn't leave. It's not like he did a hit and run. So I
Right.
He
mean, I'm
can't.
not saying that it's
He's drunk.
better, but
He can't leave.
I mean anything. Yeah, but I'm saying you. I mean, if you hit somebody, then you can all like your brain might say, "Oh snap!" Like then I mean, you
Right,
might be
right,
alive and then pull
right.
off. You know what
I'm
I'm
sure
saying?
that's probably what happened.
Richie brought up a good point. Running back Brandon Jacob from the Giants had a DUI earlier last year too.
I
Yep.
know a Cowboys player had one earlier this year too.
Yeah, so he's definitely not the first. It's not the first time the NFL has seen this. But I know for me personally, it affected me because I know it affected Devontae Smith. This affected the Philadelphia Eagles, even if it's in a small way. Jalen Hurts played with the kid, man.
Yeah, they talked about him today.
Landon Dickerson played with the kid. I mean, and that's why I thought he could really fit well in this offense, at some point down the road, because I'm sitting there saying Devontae Smith and Henry Ruggs, I mean, their game style, Henry Ruggs, he's going to take the top off, and Devontae Smith is your possessions guy. He can sort of work the middle. He can sort of work the zone. Man, you got a great combination, and both of those cats is only 22 years old, and boom, in the blink of an eye, his future is in question. So,
And this was going to be Alabama 2.0. How I
yeah,
say, man.
for sure, for sure. So, we hate to see it. Like both of you guys mentioned. Condolences to the family. It's not about football; it's about life. At this point, on this House of Birds podcast, we encourage, if you're out with your family, celebrating, having a good time, or whatever,
Call an Uber
call an Uber. Call an Uber, man. Call an
or
Uber.
have a DD.
Yeah, have a designated driver. Whatever you got to do to get home safe, that's what we got to do. So, I'm ready to
Yeah,
talk about some Eagles football, man.
That's what I always am. I'm DD.
uh, all right. So again, what y'all think? We're 3-5 now. Hopefully, we'll be 4-5 on Sunday. Do you think Nick Sirianni is going to use the same formula that he did last week game and this week game? And I mean, personally, for me, I would love for them to run the ball a lot more than to throw, because at the same time, I feel that even though Hurts is getting a lot of yardage and off of certain plays, he only threw the ball 14 times. I think that was just right, because at the same time when he was throwing the ball, he was always, to me, I'm not a hater, but it seems like I still think he's a little sloppy when it goes to a certain extent, far as just throwing it. Uh, Again, to have the wide receivers going to stride, he don't hit them as well, or it feels like a Carson Wentz error, to the point where when you throw the ball, they catch it, then they just like they had a standstill. They made a lot of adjustments when they had Rager doing the reverse. I loved it, but obviously he's out. So again, now we got Jordan Howard, the muscle that I believe, like they said, the Chargers run game is not good. We can't sleep on the Chargers, because we're talking about their quarterback that definitely has an arm, and they got wide receivers. Um, so I still feel like this is going to be a tough game. Nick Sirianni, he said in his conference, he said that these defensive coordinators are not dummies. They already know what they're looking for. I mean, I'm shocked that he said that they sometimes they know, what the schemes are. Before last week's game, it was okay. They're just going to throw the ball. Let's play man. Now it's wow. They ran the ball 46 times, 14 throws. So now it's an adjustment, and they know that we have Jordan Howard. that I always said put in. You know what I'm saying? Finally, they put in, and look what he has done. He got 2 touchdowns in one game. So, and with Boston Scott, because again, they ran the ball. So, Nick Sirianni, he need to think real hard, think real, real good. And if he wanted, like, I feel because of last week, it gives me the confidence now that we might have a better record if we just play hard nosed football like how we did last week. It was still, I'll say it's still sloppy because it was still against a bad team. Until we get to another good team, and if we play well, I mean, it is what it is. So that's what I gotta say on it for right now.
It's kind of scary to think that Nick Sirianni is 7, 8 games into his head coaching tenure, and he's just finding out that coaches aren't dummies. To me, it's just this dude is just.
Yeah,
I,
right.
I I don't. That
Dude's
this is
goofy.
a thing that just doesn't rub me the right way. Um. I guess, and I know I missed last week's episode. I thought the game plan was great. They ran the ball. We've all been calling for the Eagles to run the football. I thought it was pretty dope how we sort of had that kind of performance on the ground, with against Deuce Staley, right? So, you gotta sort of tip your hat to the running back room. But I think this is the way the Eagles need to go moving forward. You gotta figure out a way to take pressure off of Jalen Hurts. And I think Moochie, what you're saying is
Yeah.
absolutely valid, but at the same time, you also have to put it in context and sort of say to yourself, well, the Eagles have put a lot on Jalen Hurts, on Jalen Hurts' shoulders. When you talk about a rookie quarterback who hasn't played more than 10 games, who is accounting for 85% of the offense by himself, you have to sit there and say to yourself, how can the Eagles figure this thing out? How can they take less off of his plate? And I think last week against the Lions, we ran about almost 40 times. I mean, that's unheard of, right? So that's what we have to do. I think that's the way forward. And then when you run the football, what does it do? Subsequently, now you allow your defense to get rest. Now those guys can come out and get sacks and do what they do. So it all kind of plays, what I'm saying, hand to hand. I just think Nick Sirianni, he has to stick with it. You know what I mean? If he goes into the LA game, right, and he says, okay, well, the first drive, we're running it down the throat. We go down and we score. And, then the second series, something goes off. It goes haywire. Then he just all of a sudden starts to throw the football. Now the Eagles are going to be back at square one. And Nick Sirianni has, and I don't know if anybody's actually really, really talked about this, but Nick Sirianni has publicly come out and admitted to the fact that he, as a head coach, is still trying to figure it out. He, as a head coach, is still trying to figure out how to not get too high or never to get too low. And, when your head coach has to do that, not your quarterback who you're trying to figure out if he can be the franchise quarterback, you're going to be in some trouble. But nevertheless, again, it was a great win against the Detroit Lions. It was good to see us do what we were supposed to do to a team that's 0-7, 0-8, whatever their record is. But for me as a man, pride-wise, I'm not going to get too excited about that. It is what it is. A win is a win is a win. But at the end of the day, we got to build off this. We got to build off of it. And this just may be what the Philadelphia Eagles need to get this second half of the season going.
Facts. Richie MC says, did Hurts replace Devontae with Dallas as a number one target? On the third down, Devontae was open on the right. Jalen scrambled across the field to the left to locate Dallas with a sidearm incomplete completion throw.
I actually do have that up if
You
you
want to
want
show
to
that?
talk about it.
Right here.
This is the play. It's I think it's 3rd and 3 on Detroit's. Chill out. Hold it. Always does this on freaking camera. Right.
Well, again, they always defensive defensive coordinators, they already know this. They already say if you don't look out for Devontae, look out for Dallas. If you don't look out for Dallas, then look out for Watts. I mean for Quez
Devontae.
Watkins. No, Quez Watkins.
Oh, okay.
Like since they already know that, hold on. But since if they already know that, that's why we need to start running the ball. You know what I'm saying? Period. After the only bad thing about it is now the defensive coordinators they already know like, all right, now Jordan Howard's going to be a problem because again, how come he wasn't doing this with Miles Sanders for the whole 7 weeks? He wasn't really doing this with Miles Sanders, and now all of a sudden, again, like I kept stressing out, if you was to have Jordan Howard in there in the first place and then have Miles Sanders, it's that thunder and lightning, so you wouldn't know what to do. But instead, he wanted to have. I don't understand why he had Boston Scott. Like it's not like I mean I get it. I mean maybe he thought like maybe because Boston Scott he can go out and he can catch the ball, and you're not really too sure about Jordan Howard because I guess because of his size, but he's still a workhorse. You still that's how you now with Jordan Howard we can break the defense down easily, and then like I said, Chargers running game is not good. You know what I'm saying? So you want
Uh,
to back up? You good?
yeah, I think we're good now. I would say I do think they will use Boston a little more because he's a better pass catcher. But um, I mean, I think it'll depend on the situation. Why does it always do this? Why does it always do this right when we're about to go on? I don't get it. It was working fine, and then we go to the freaking.
All right, it's all good.
Yeah, just take it off. Um, what was I gonna say? What do you call it? Over the past for the game on Sunday, it was 75% to 25% run to pass ratio. So it's basically 3-1 or 4-1, whatever it is.
I
Um,
mean, but don't you think that's just stats? I mean, that's just
well, no,
hearsay.
I was just gonna say, if I had to take a guess of what it'll be this week, it'll probably be closer to 60-40 or 50-50 because I mean the Chargers do definitely have a not better run defense, but it is better because it's a better team. They got guys like Derwin, James, Joey Bosa. They got. Um, well, is their linebacker hurt? Their starting linebacker,
The
Kenneth Murray.
the kid from Oklahoma.
Yeah, Kenneth Murray.
I'm
Oh
not sure.
yeah, I always wanted Kenneth Murray too. I really wanted him in the This is when Jim Swartz was here. He really wanted him too, but
Mm-hmm.
obviously we didn't
Yeah,
get him.
yeah.
Now, do you think our defense? Now we just let go of
Eric
Eric
Wilson.
Wilson.
Yeah,
Now I mean I wanted to
he was
keep
a
him,
good.
but obviously I get it. He wasn't what it was. They said Sean Bradley had stepped up with the as far as with the special teams. Devontae
They
Taylor,
like
he's one of them.
Davion
Yeah.
Davion
and
Taylor,
TJ.
like they definitely stepped it up. They definitely stepped it up. But will Gannon, will he do the same thing too? Like it feels like somebody had to have a talking to him. I don't know if Howie says something or if they say, you know what, we're not even going to listen to how we're going to play our game. But they played how they were supposed to play. But they should have did this within the 6 to 7 week period. You know what I'm saying? So now we in here in the eighth. Now about going to the ninth. Just continue to keep on doing what we're doing. We played
Yeah.
man and he blitzed a lot more. So do you feel that the defense is going to be a lot better?
Yes.
Um,
Yeah.
if we did what we did last week, I obviously when you look at the tape last week, we we showed that we can be aggressive. We showed that we can stop teams. We showed that we can get off the field and on third downs. Um, but that defense was blitzing. Okay, that defense wasn't running. It wasn't vanilla, right? So if we do that, it just depends on which coach shows up. It depends on which
Mhm.
flower grows out of the ground each week. We don't know if we're gonna get a Mayflower, sunflower seeds. I don't know, right? So it just depends on. honestly, I just think these guys were on an ego trip, and the hardest thing to do as a man is to really admit that you're wrong, right? And so you're 8 weeks into the season, and the media, people that watch football, people that play football, literally had to tell you to run the football consistently. Seth joining those guys, blitz. Okay, these are guys who actually suited up and played for the Eagles. Ike Reach and those guys telling you exactly what to do. So, I think against the Los Angeles Chargers is going to be a great matchup because Keenan Allen, he doesn't scare you in terms of going
Down the
over
field.
the top. Okay, so I believe that I believe Darius Slay can run with Keenan Allen, even Steven Nelson, because he's a more physical guy. Now don't get me wrong, he will route you up in a New York minute, but just because you got to be able to be elusive, quick, and fast to get away from Darius Slay. Like, he's a seasoned veteran. All right. One of the great things about Darius Slay is he can anticipate any route. So where a young corner, he's going to bite off the first move. Darius Slay understands as a veteran in this league, okay, you're trying to set me up with the first move and counter and go to something else. So for me, I like the matchup against Darius Slay and Keenan Allen. If we could take Keenan Allen out of the game, I believe Steven Nelson can have success against Mike Williams. He doesn't really scare you. All right.
But I'm scared of but I'm scared of Nelson though, because I don't know if Nelson, like, he'll play good for a minute and then all of a sudden a flag might fly because you don't know.
You got to understand. Now you got to put it in context. Okay, he's playing against guys like Tyreek Hill. Okay, guys that like run 4.2 speed. You know what I mean, that's very, very hard to compete with. Tyreek, he's very short. He's low. His gravity is to the ground. Steve Nelson is 6'1" with cleats on. It's hard to run with that guy. You know what I mean? So I just think with bigger corners that have some speed, they can challenge well against taller corners. And the Los Angeles Chargers, their two starters are all over 6'3". So they just don't scare me. If anything, okay, we cut Eric Wilson. And I like the fact that, not that we cut him, because I will say, raise my hand and say it, in the offseason, I thought it was a stud. I thought it was a stud move, based on, his, experience within Jonathan Gannon's defense. And see, this is why Jonathan Gannon, for me, and just because we beat the Lions doesn't mean it's still not fire Nick Sirianni and it's still not fire Jonathan Gannon. Right. I'm still very much fire off his whole coaching staff, because you can't tell me a guy who had success in your defense in years past comes back to your defense again and you cut this same player halfway through the season. That this guy has had years of experience in your defense, and you couldn't even develop him. So if you can't develop a guy that was in your defense, why am I going to trust you with these young rookie linebackers? And Howie Roseman isn't slick. All he's trying to do is to see what he has in these linebackers, to see how he wants to draft a linebacker in this up and coming year. Eric Wilson, they just weren't going to pay him because they say, you know what? It is what it is. But and I'll wrap it up by saying this: what I see them cutting Eric Wilson, unfortunately means that Nick Sirianni and Jonathan Gannon are going to be here another season. You don't cut a player that you were going to re-sign, right? They were going to re-sign if he played well. But because he didn't play well, they're like, okay, well, we're not going to give Jonathan Gannon, this guy, another season if we already know what he looks like. So, Moochie, like you asked, man, I think this defense can definitely compete and stop this Los Angeles Chargers offense. My biggest concern really is can our offensive line handle their defense? Their defense is what scares me.
I think our defense could hold them, but I mean, it's kind of weird. Like Pablo said earlier, You don't know which defense is going to show up. Are we going to see the defense in the Raiders game, or are we going to see the defense in Detroit game? Where Detroit, if it was like third and short, you would blitz everybody, and all the corners would be manned up, like pressing all the receivers to basically not have to worry about getting the first. And then if it was like third and long, they would be slightly off, but they wouldn't be as far off as they normally would be. And then in the Raider game, it was legit. You could legit watch a defensive play, and everyone's going into coverage, and Derek Carr would just take the check down every time. So, I mean, like, I don't know. It depends on which defense. I do like that they're using TJ Edwards more, who's a very good run-stopping linebacker. He's an okay pass coverage. And then Davion is still learning. They're trying to see what Davion can be. I think Davion has potential to be a decent linebacker, maybe like a number 2, but we don't know. I don't know.
I mean, again, they should have used Eric Wilson to start blitzing. I just wish I would have seen how he was blitzing if they would have used him. I wanted to see what he could do into the Lions.
Eric Wilson wasn't a very good blitz linebacker in Minnesota. That's what they did with Eric Kendricks, the linebacker, the number 1 linebacker. They used to send him on blitz and leave Eric Wilson in coverage. But the thing is Gannon would just drop everybody so far back.
But that's the problem. That's what I'm saying.
I mean, that was the issue. So I mean,
that should have never happened in the first place.
I just think they want to see what they have more in the young guys than the seasoned vets.
But see,
you do that when it's a throwing play. You know what I'm saying? Or you just play man, or just switch it up to 4.
They did change. They did have a couple dime plays on defense in long situations.
But what I'm saying is 6 to 7 weeks later. You know what I'm saying? So it's like
no, I know.
You can't evaluate. I mean,
I think this game was the experiment game for everything. Like, okay, we're gonna see how this defense works against the Lions. We're gonna see how a run-heavy offense works.
Because this is why we cannot allow the media to cause us to just accept anything.
I'm not accepting.
But listen what I'm saying. What I'm saying, I'm not saying that you are doing it. What I'm saying is, at the end of the day, you're going to experiment against an 0-8 team. What answers do you get from that?
Well, you could. I don't know. I mean, you wouldn't experiment. I mean, you wouldn't experiment against a good team. You would experiment against a team you more than likely think you're going to beat.
So you experiment against a team that is not competitive.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you measure that against a team that actually is competitive?
Well, then you can go into the next week with the same game plan and see how that works. I mean, the Chargers are about the same in rush defense, but they're a lot better in pass defense.
So honestly, what I'm hearing, just me personally, I'm hearing that we're letting Nick Sirianni off the hook, because you're telling me
for 1 week, yeah,
they basically. You're 8 games and you don't know how to run the football. Your best player is Miles Sanders, and you're 8 games in and you don't run the football.
I just think they were trying to super evaluate what they could put Jalen in and what they couldn't put Jalen in.
No, not at all. I still think it's fire. I think it's
I still think it's
fire Nick Sirianni.
No,
but it depends on if you play the same way from now until the end of the season. It's a different story. I guess his philosophy was, let me keep throwing the ball until to psych them out or whatever, and it's not working. But again, as soon as Miles Sanders goes down, you bring in Jordan Howard. Like I said, that I keep on stressing and kept preaching through the whole entire time. Now that you put him in here, you run the ball, you can't even stop him. So if he sees that, obviously he needs to say, I just don't like what he did to Miles Sanders. That's what I don't like.
Well, you don't like what he did to Miles Sanders. I don't like what he's been doing to Jalen Hurts, because what I'm hearing is for the first 8 weeks, he pretty much said, the hell with Jalen Hurts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I believe you. I mean, I'm not saying that you're not wrong.
No, I'm not. No, we're both saying the same thing. It ain't about me being right or wrong. I'm just saying, look at what our head coach has doing? It's like, so you telling me for 8 weeks you
It's
let this
frustrating.
rookie quarterback just
Fight for his life.
fight for his life?
Mm-hmm.
Right. And then, like he said, I'm gonna do everything what the coach tells me to do. You want me to show this video now, Danny?
Which I don't even know. I mean, I feel like it'll work, and then it won't. So we could try
Fuck it.
it.
Just let it
Like,
play, and then you know what I mean, we just talk
yeah.
about it.
Right. This is the one right here. No, this is the play before. This is the run play to set up 3rd and 3. They handed it off to Howard. All right, so Devontae's right here. Goddard's right here. It didn't work. Okay, screw it. I don't care anymore. I
All
don't know.
right, I'll take
There
it
must
off.
be some with the stream. I don't know. It's
It's
just
all good.
lagging. But what it is it's like the defense isn't a cover 2. They have like a flat defender, the linebackers and everything, flat defender, and then the safeties are in a cover 2. Devontae does like a out route, corner route. He's open. He's decently open. Jalen could have threw that, got the first. But I mean, there was only 2 times I was upset with him during the whole game. One was that play, and the other one, as Breaking the Bird said at the end of his one discussing, he said Jalen looked like a confused chicken. One play in the pocket, he's got a clean pocket, and he just starts doing circles in it.
No,
It's
that's
just like,
facts. That's what I'm saying. As soon as
but
you
like those,
just be
but those
poised,
are the
take
only
your
2
time.
plays. Like there was this one, I
And
think it was like a 3rd and
he's a
12
confused
play.
chicken. Who's laying the eggs?
I don't know. I was just gonna say,
Nick
Nick
Sirianni.
Sirianni.
even you know, even Steichen said it in his recent press conference. I think that was today. He said the play of the game was, and it was a really good play. It was 3rd and 12. No one's open, and they're bringing pressure. Jalen's basically almost in his end zone, and he runs up the middle and gets like 20 yards on a run.
23 yards on 3rd and 12.
Yeah, it was, and those are the plays like that say Jalen is special.
Yeah, but that always doesn't happen. That was just a lucky shot. But again, it was
It
against a
was,
bad team.
but he could have just accepted the sack, but no, he went for it. And he
Okay,
broke
and let me
ankles,
tell you, was that
avoided
hold on?
tacklers.
Would that had worked with Tampa Bay defense?
It doesn't matter if
We
it
don't
was
know
work or not. It's the fact that he has a skill set and his
to
body
do
to
it.
do that.
But
My
when you
question
got
to
wide
you,
receivers, when you got wide receivers and tight ends,
he
that's
don't
what
have
they're there
that's
for.
that's
They
that's the
weren't open.
that is the misconception that's going on in Philadelphia. A lot of people in Philadelphia are believing like this Eagle wide receiver room is like top 10. It's not even top 20, bro. If we're being honest. Hold on, listen.
Right.
What is Jalen Reagor doing for you each week? What is he doing for you? And this is what I was telling everybody. In the off season, I said it. We need to get a veteran wide receiver so that we're not putting too much, on Devontae's plate, because you know what you're going to do. You're going to mess up his development. We did the Eagles.
You're asking too much.
We have a historic wide receiver issue where we ask these guys to come in too early. We've seen it with Nelson Aguilar. We're seeing it with Devontae Smith, but he's a bona fide player, so he's going to make plays regardless. But we have to get players into this organization that can develop and grow into what they can grow into. But when you got somebody like Howie Roseman who said we got a quarterback factory, well, guess what? You run through Carson Wentz. He's supposed to be a franchise guy. You're not patient with Jalen Hurts. You're going to run him out. Then you're going to draft another quarterback. Then he's putting his team back 10, 15, 20 years behind. And my thing is this. It's today, does Jalen Hurts look better than Carson Wentz?
No.
In my opinion, he does. He does.
In certain ways, yes.
He does.
I mean, if we're basing it off of Carson this year,
let me tell you why he does. Well,
he's not turning the ball over.
The record speaks for themselves.
He's not turning the ball over.
Carson Wentz has a head coach that's protecting him, and he's hiding Carson Wentz. Jalen Hurts, Nick Sirianni is not. He is not protecting Jalen Hurts.
Have fun.
All.
Have fun.
All. And so
but he's throwing unnecessary passes in my regards. Like I'm just
Who?
saying, hurts
No, he's not.
again.
If
No,
anything,
no,
he's holding
no,
the ball too
he has.
much.
He has. I'm not going to sit here and act like Jalen has been perfect, but I'm not looking for. See, you guys are focused on
I'm
somebody
focusing on
just
the game. Look,
right.
yeah, look, I'm focusing on the game, but at the same time, I get it. It's what Nick Sirianni says to do. If he says this to play, go ahead. You got to run the play.
So
Is
let me ask
your
you guys a question. We all can agree that Nick Sirianni and this Shane Steichen, whatever his name is, they can't even get on the same page of who's calling the plays. Not one person is calling the plays. So you mean there have been games, and think about this for a second, please, guys. There have been games this season where the first quarter, second quarter, Nick Sirianni has been calling the plays. In the third, fourth quarter, Shane Steichen's been calling the plays. How do you expect Jalen Hurts to get in rhythm when you're listening to two different people? It's not a fair evaluation.
And
It's
then
not football.
one thing
right?
I
But
will
then it's
say,
simple.
I
Don't
was,
have Nick Sirianni.
I
Don't
was,
have him say the calls at all. Have
I was
Nick's
just
go ahead.
Steichen.
Just
I was
have
just
him
about to
play.
say that which offense has been looking better, Steichen's or Sirianni's?
Steichens, because at the last 2 minutes, like in the fourth quarter, all of a sudden they popping up touchdowns with no problem.
Well, the other thing is, I mean, even in third quarter, they start running the ball. Like before the Detroit game, they would start running the ball more in the second half than in the first.
Philly
I,
Fresh was good with you.
I don't understand how you expect for Jalen Hurts to be in a situation where he has to listen to two separate voices.
Mm-hmm.
Nick Sirianni calling the plays the first half, Shane Steichen calling the play the second half, and you guys want him to produce.
Because Nick calls all plays.
Nah, I'm not sure what game people watching, but Shane Steichen against the Lions, he was definitely like this calling the plays. Nick Sirianni's even said he's come out and said that he has divvied up the plays, the play calling responsibility between the two.
Yeah, I mean, Steichen might be telling Sirianni the plays, so Nick tells Jalen. But Steichen has definitely been influencing Sirianni a lot more as of late.
So
I
what's the
mean,
middleman for? Why
so
not just go straight from Steichen to Jalen?
Because I don't know, because Sirianni might have
I guess I'll put it like
issues. I
this.
don't know.
Maybe we'll
Because it's
just see
two
it in
people
this
calling
thing.
the plays.
So, like I said, maybe this week we'll see what's going on and see how everything goes.
I mean, one thing that was nice is we only had 2 penalties.
Jimmy, what's good? Yeah, we only had two penalties. Like the Lions was playing like the Eagles. You know what I'm saying? Like they was playing like the Eagles, and the Eagles was perfect to a certain extent. You know what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
I
But I
mean,
mean, when your run game's that dominant, you don't need to pass.
I want to know
right.
who chose to stick with the run because we've
Yeah.
always had a dominant running game, like Moochie alluded to earlier.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we really need to get back to see when you're a new rookie head coach, you want to come in and show the league what your system can do. Like Chip
Right.
Kelly, he wanted to show what his offense was capable of. Doug
Thank you,
Peterson,
Jimmy.
he wanted to change his offense, right? So Nick Sirianni, he came in.
Right.
He's like, I want to show what my offense can do. But I'm sitting there saying, listen, man, just figure out what works for the team.
What we're good at.
Three-headed monster. If you got to use Jordan Howard, Boston Scott, and Miles Sanders, that's what you do to get this offense running. You take some pressure off your quarterback.
One thing.
Now you allow Jalen Hurts to get into rhythm. Now you allow him to be able. He has no time to process because they're just
They're
throwing the
always
ball,
expecting pass.
right? So maybe now this is why running the football and play action is important, especially for a young quarterback. Because when you hand the ball off, even though he hand the ball off for a split second, he's able to see the defenses. And guess what? Just like the Eagles linebackers was retreating when it was a run, that's what defenses are doing as well. So now he's able to sit there for maybe a second or two and see what defense they're in. Okay, they're in the zone. If I were to keep the ball, I know how to go here. But when you're asked to read this and read that, and it's coming from multiple people, I don't understand how you ask a kid to develop in that kind of environment.
All right. Well, let me ask this: when is Hurts playing better when he's under center? And when he's under center, are we only when he plays under center? Is he only doing plays where he hand off the ball, or did he be under center? Did he ever do a drop back to throw the
No,
ball? I
I see
don't
what
believe he
you're
did that.
saying. Nah, the thing about it is when you're under center, they don't know if it's a run or you can pass out of that as well.
Mhm.
When
Right.
you are in a shotgun, 90% of the time you're running the football, it's an RPO or it's a quick slant or something like that. That's why they call, being under the center, even in college, a run, an NFL kind of offense because you can actually run NFL plays and you have to be ready for everything. For me, when you put Jalen Hurts under center, you allow him to be able to read and scan at a better rate as opposed to putting him in the shotgun because the defense they're not afraid. They're not scared of the Eagles in shotgun. We have to start doing things different. And I think that's why we have been seeing him have, success under center. It's not rocket science. You know what I mean? It's actually playing football. If you're going to run it every single play in shotgun, guess what? I'm going to load the box up and dare you to do something else.
Mm-hmm.
No, that's next. I mean, if you really want to change up something for real, I would just take all the RPOs out and just make up something new. But
Yeah, I
again,
was
we just won't know until we see on Sunday at 1 o'clock.
I
It's
was
going to be a home game too, right? So
mhm.
hopefully it'll be a different situation.
I
I think
was
go ahead. My bad.
I was just gonna say I was just about to say how many RPOs did you see this Sunday? You really didn't see a lot.
I mean,
There
I
was a
would
lot
say
of options. There was a lot of read options, or zone reads, but they weren't. There wasn't a lot of RPOs. They were like I remember like one of the main RPOs we did was I'm pretty sure it was he was going to be a pass to Devontae, but Devontae got held at the goal line, and then but there was like an illegal man downfield, and Jalen held the ball, stepped out of bounds. So
I mean, again, when you down, if you at the 10 yard, if you at the goal line, simple as this, don't throw it. Just give it to
right, I
Jordan
don't
Howard or Boston Scott and just run it right in. You know what I'm saying? Like, stop with the throwing.
right,
Period.
I
Like,
don't I don't
play hard nose, play 1-on-1 football. How about that?
Yeah,
yeah
because the reason why it's important for us, the Philadelphia Eagles, to establish the run and to run the football is because Nick Sirianni, as the coach, he brings no identity. There's no identity. So this team we have to force an identity. So we got to run the ball, we got to punch it down people's throats. And then we got to build the offense off of that. If we don't do that and we try to go out here, we don't have any wide receivers, man. That's just the truth. You're asking Devontae Smith to be a number one guy. Yes, he bought his ass off at the collegiate level in Alabama, but he's still a rookie. You know what I mean? He's still a rookie. He still has to develop on and off the football field.
mhm.
Ask his rookie quarterback. And there was this article out there that's floating around Philadelphia, poisoning the minds of Eagles fans, talking about how Jalen Hurts is pretty much slowing up the development of Devontae Smith. Like, that's garbage. It's literally garbage. How is he like pretty much? I don't know. It's so confusing. I don't even understand what I'm saying. But it's stuff like that, man. I think the fact of the matter is this: through 8 games, we saw what Jalen Hurts looked like when you put everything on his plate. And when you took some stuff off of his plate, see, I don't care about him throwing for 400 yards and all of that. I care about wins. And one thing that Jalen Hurts is going to do, he's going to do what you ask him to do.
Mm-hmm.
And if your game plan is right, he's going to get it right. And when he was under center, what did he do? Took us down the field. When we ran the ball 40 times, what did we do? We win the ball game. When you ask him to win it, you can't ask somebody who's has only played less than 15 times in the NFL to go win you a ball game by himself. Now,
Yeah,
if
but Brian,
targets, then that if Jalen Hurts had a Julio Jones or somebody like that was a wide receiver that was a bona fide wide receiver, then I can understand that Jalen Hurts hate, but I just can't because Jalen Rager's not giving you anything. Arcega-Whiteside, he's ready to block for you. He's not even ready to catch. He's ready to block for you anytime you want him in there. He's ready to jump on in the special teams. Who do we have outside of Devontae Smith? Who do we have at the wide receiver spot?
Nobody. But this the thing though. But last year when Hurts, it was something about Hurts when every time he came in after taking Carson Wentz out, he was spectacular. He was
Can I
able to
tell you
get the
what it
ball.
is?
He was able to take the ball out. Yeah, but all right. But before you say that, even though that's happening, regardless of what plays or RPOs you do, him as a quarterback should know. As soon as I say hike, let me just throw the ball so when my wide receiver go out in stride, he need to go and catch it. Not let me wait so long to look. And if I throw it, will he catch it? Or hopefully it's not an interception. I mean, again, if Tom Brady was in there, as soon as he say height, even if it was an RPO, I don't care less what it was. I don't care how much of a veteran is and all that. You already just like this program. I haven't even been on this program for so long, but I've been learning so much each time or each day by day. I'm getting better at it. That I know if you a quarterback, as soon as you say height, you should throw the ball. He did this in college. Why is he doing
Right.
this now?
Watch this. Watch this. The key of all of that is it was Doug Peterson.
Mm-hmm.
Doug Peterson
Doug didn't run
understands when to insert himself and how to help Jalen Hurts. You're talking about Nick Sirianni, who was a Division III wide receiver, bro. He does not know. He doesn't know what he's doing. Doug Peterson actually played in the NFL. He suited up in the NFL. Right. So that's why he was able to have the success with Nick Foles, because he had a quarterback that was going to be able to listen to him and execute and go out there and apply what he was being taught. Jalen Hurts, guys, Brian Johnson, I like him, but he's not. He was with Florida last year. No NFL experience. You're talking about somebody who was on this. Brian Johnson, the Eagles quarterback coach, was on the same level as Jalen Hurts a few years ago. So how the hell is he going to teach him about NFL style of play? He can't. Nick Sirianni was just fired a few years ago by Andy Reid. So how the hell is he going to teach Jalen Hurts about quarterbacking? He can't. This is all Howie Roseman's fault, because he brought in yes men. He sacrificed the Eagles to bring in somebody that he can control. All right. And so subsequently now Jalen Hurts, he has to suffer because he doesn't have a true quarterback. I'm telling you, if the Eagles would have put Josh McDaniels with Jalen Hurts, it would have been over, bro, over. That's why you see Mac Jones. He's not the most talented quarterback in this year's draft, but guess what? He looks the part. Why? Bill Belichick
the best.
And Josh Daniels. He has coaching. The Eagles coach. Everybody in the world said it. Look on ESPN. Skip and Shannon. Everybody's saying the same thing. The Eagles coaching staff is remedial. They're rookies, bro.
It's the blind leading the blind.
No, you make a great point on that. Yeah, I get you. I got you.
And that's for me. When we evaluate him, and I'm not trying to absolve Jalen Hurts, there's some plays where I'm sitting there like, man, why are you taking 10 seconds to read that right there? But guess what? I understand he's only 23 years old. All right. See, a lot of people are trying to look at his play on the football field. This man won the locker room over without even throwing the pass at 22 years old. Now you got Henry Ruggs making that kind of decision at 22 years old. That's why I'm trying to explain to you guys the different levels of mentality and how somebody is wired. This man just murdered somebody, okay? It was a poor decision. Jalen Hurts is not doing that. He's never doing that, bro. We don't have to worry about him off the football field. So for me, he gets a leg up because I'm willing to develop. I'm willing to allow him to grow. But if we keep playing with Howie Roseman, we're going to have Pickens and Petty, whatever his name is. I forget what quarterback he's from. Everybody's trying to kind of amp up.
Malik Willis?
No, not Patrick Willis. The other, the big white boy from
Matt Corral.
But the other one, it's another name that just popped out from somewhere. Pickens or something. I forget his name, but he's pretty mobile. Seems like he has a strong arm, but we're going to be going through this cycle over and over and over again. It's like if you can't
You're
show
not learning. You can't.
right, and that's the thing. If you can't show that you can develop with Jalen Hurts, who this team said they are 100% behind, they're going to lose the locker room. That's how I know we're not going to get a quarterback because they're going to lose the locker room by bringing in somebody else. It's like it doesn't even make sense.
Definitely.
Well, hopefully it makes sense on Sunday when they
Well,
play. Because I mean, again, if you use the same formula that you did last week, I just don't want them to feel so good that they won 41-6, and then when we come into this game, it'd be a total disoriented and something totally different. Just like how Cox, like how he hasn't really been producing. Hopefully he produce, and hopefully they'll get something rolling to the point where he can get himself from sacks because he's letting everybody else eat. How do y'all feel about is his name what's the line is he a linebacker Jackson, number 48 on the Eagles?
Patrick
Uh
Johnson.
Patrick Johnson. Oh man, after the way how I
yeah,
seen
he's a
him
linebacker.
when I seen how he pushed that rookie
Pedesu.
and got the
That was
and
Penei Sewell. He did that
yeah,
too.
he did that penny seal, yeah.
Wow,
But
you
and that
think
wasn't even a sack, but the fact that he was able to get his hands on him
And
like that.
yeah, he's
Now
a.
I see if they let go of Wilson and if they bring him in to do something, I will not be mad at that.
listen
But
and
he's. Oh, I was
go
just
ahead.
gonna say Patrick Johnson isn't. He's more of like a 3-4 linebacker, outside linebacker. He's one of those guys that likes getting after the QB. He's kind of like a smaller version of like a Josh Sweat. He's kind of like a Shaq Barrett in a way because he can go into coverage or he can go into the quarterback. He's not like a pure covers linebacker. He's like a 3-4 outside more than like a 4-3 linebacker.
Yeah, I think he's still a stud, man.
Hmm.
He's made some plays where it's like, whoa, you know what I mean? Like
Right.
Patrick Johnson, they can use him as I think Patrick Johnson is what the Eagles wanted Jannard Avery to be, right?
Hmm.
I think he's really what they wanted Jannard Avery to be, but Jannard Avery is like 5'2". He's cock diesel, but he's so short. He can't, I mean, it's just, it is what it is. But what I will say this, I like the fact that Howie Roseman is saying, "Hey man, let's see what we have in our younger guys," because in the past under Doug, that was one of Doug Peterson's, you know, Achilles. Achilles is the fact that he didn't play the younger guys.
Hmm.
He just didn't play. He rode the Super Bowl team to everybody left. Never gave his veterans, his rookies, an opportunity to get a real look. So, you know, I guess that's a little bit of growth from the Eagles. Really trying to get a look see at what this linebacking core can do. But I just can't. I'm praying for the day that we can get away from thinking that you can find somebody in the 6th, 7th, 8th round for linebackers and that they're going to turn into something. Like just
Hmm.
pay somebody that is worth it, that has a skill set, or draft somebody high. It's no point to keep playing games. But yeah, one name I just want to throw out there that we should be looking at for my folks that are like already looking at the draft and mock drafts, and keep an eye on the kid from Penn State, Brandon Smith,
Okay.
6'3". The kid runs like a 4.3, 4.4, sideline to sideline. Again, I know I don't want to get too ahead of myself. I know
Hmm.
we're still in the season, but for those who are super big on mock drafts, start looking at some players, man, because the Eagles, if Howie Roseman, if we can get some great picks, man, we can really turn this defense around in a year. Because the talent that's coming out is going to be crazy.
So what do
Um.
we really need right now? Do we still need a
They
linebacker?
We need a number one corner. Darius Slay's over. He's not old, but he's not football years.
He's
He's
getting
old.
up there.
He's getting long in the tooth. I like to see us have a true bona fide cornerback, and that's all Howie Roseman is doing right now. If you guys really look at what he's doing, that's why he went to go get Kerry Vincent Jr., who ran the 4.3. I think he can actually do some things because he got these guys on rookie deals, right? So now
Hmm.
they're going to be with us for 3-4 years. You know what I mean? These are just all depth guys because it's not a guarantee that Avonte Maddox is going to be here next year. It's not a guarantee that Steven Nelson is going to be here next year. It's not
No,
even a
not at
guarantee
all.
that Darius Slayer is going to be here next year, right? So you got to start building out your depth, and When I see him getting players that's like from LSU, and we still got Jacoby Stevens, and I think if the Eagles could somehow land like a Derek Stingley Jr. and get like a Kyle Hamilton, I'm telling you, man, we can fix this defense. But I just don't trust Howie Roseman, But again, we need. I'm okay with our linebackers now, but if you can shore up that secondary,
I want to say kind of like three things. If we're talking about draft stuff, a linebacker I was kind of looking at was the Georgia middle linebacker, N'Kobe Dean. He's looking pretty good, leading that number one defense in the college football.
Jordan Davis looks really good too.
Yeah. I was going to ask, would you guys rather have a Stingley, or would you rather have a guy like Kayvon Thibodeau?
I think we can get both. I really do think that we.
I don't think so.
We're not getting both.
I think Kayvon's going to go number one.
I don't know.
I think he's like the next Myles Garrett.
You think the Detroit Lions is comfortable? Now I know these defensive players. Everybody's looking for the
They're
next.
They're trying to build in the trenches, Detroit.
Everybody's looking for the next Chase Young, but guess what? When you have a franchise quarterback there, it doesn't matter for Chase. It could be 5 Chase Youngs sitting there.
But what QB is worth the number 1 overall pick right now?
Patrick Willis. I mean Malik Willis.
He's okay. But he's at a smaller school.
Carson Wentz was at a smaller school.
Yes, but he wasn't number 1. He was 2. Jared Goff was at a smaller school, but look at Jared Goff now.
So let me ask you a question. Do you think that Detroit, because if you pay attention to their media, they're trying to win now. You're not winning now with a defensive end, period.
No, they're trying to build in the trenches. That's why they took Sewell over Fields or Mac Jones. They're trying to build in the trenches.
So my question for you is, this: do you think that they are comfortable with Jared Goff?
Oh no,
right.
No.
So
but I'm saying Kayvon Thibodeau. I think you could find other quarterbacks like Malik Willis, Matt Corral in upcoming drafts. I don't think there's a Kayvon Thibodeau anytime soon coming up.
I get that point.
And then the last thing, we were talking about this earlier. We don't really have the reason Jamar Chase looks good is he's got other 2 good receivers. He's got T. Higgins, and then he's got what's their slot?
Tyler Boyd.
Yes, Tyler Boyd. He's a good veteran receiver, and he makes Jamar Chase look better because he makes defenses think about not just Jamar, but also the other guys.
Can I disagree with you just a little bit? And not because your take is wrong. It's not because it's wrong. I believe that the reason why they're having success is because they were the last person that Jamar Chase caught a pass from.
Well, yeah, that too.
Joe Burrow. It has nothing to do with the fact that for me personally, you want to have other great wide receivers. I would love for the Eagles to have a Tyler Boyd to take some pressure off Devontae Smith, especially a T. Higgins sitting at 6'4", 6'5", and even Brandon Tate at 6'5". People sleep on him at 6'5". But when you think about the chemistry, right, and that's what the Eagles are missing. We don't have any chemistry. See, you can date all the women you want to. Right, but if we ain't seeing eye to eye, it's never going to work. And that's what the Eagles have to do. We have to get balance and we have to get chemistry. When you talk about Joe Burrow and Chase Young, you talk about 2 men who grew up in college together, right? Like Joe Burrow called Chase Young and said, "Yeah, I put in the word, and we come to get you at the 5 spot." So I believe Jamar Chase, he just,
it's just chemistry.
Yeah, it's just chemistry. It's not even about talent. It's chemistry.
And then my last thing was, I do think the Eagles need a vet receiver, especially this year, to kind of help take Devontae off. And there's 2 guys I'm thinking about. One that is released and one that's probably about to get released. Right now, would you sign Djax? Would you sign him back for the rest of the year? He just got released by the Rams.
Why he get released?
Because he didn't want to be in the Rams.
He wasn't
why.
Kind of targets that he wanted to get.
Yeah, I don't think he was getting the amount of reps because of Cooper Cup and Robert
And what?
Woods. He just wasn't getting the reps and targets he was wanting. And then the last guy, the other guy I wanted to talk about, Kevin Stefanski was just talking about this. Odell, he was basically telling the Browns that we're basically thinking about Odell is not on our team anymore. So it seems like they're going to release Odell Beckham Jr. in the coming days. Would you sign Odell to come here?
I would sign Odell. Go ahead, Moochie.
Djax, I mean, he'll if he came here, he'll be comfortable. But
I think D
long as
Jackson
he,
and Jalen kind of had some chemistry, especially from the Dallas game last year. So
yeah, but just don't come here doing too much. Make the
true,
touchdown,
it's true.
get back over to the sideline, and showboat after you win the game.
I don't
Mm-hmm.
care about
Odell,
him celebrating Moochie. The question for me with
He stay
Deshaun,
healthy.
can he stay healthy, man? I
Mm-hmm.
mean, his body every time he plays with us, he just can't get right.
because he showboats. He
Well,
do
the other
too
thing
much.
is
He
his
do
LA got
extra
warmer weather. That colder weather on an old body makes you more
Then
wanting
that's
to
why I was.
get
Then
hurt.
that's when you get Odell Beckham, but you don't know how Odell Beckham is going to act too. So I
Right.
mean,
So I mean, those were just two guys. I mean, you could always call, hey yo, Alshon, you
Culture,
trying to
no.
come
culture,
back?
culture wise, like from a culture perspective, understanding what the Eagles are trying to build,
Mm-hmm.
and do I want Devontae Smith, or do I want him around Odell Beckham? Can he learn from him? Sure, but I think he can learn even more just watching him on tape. I don't think he really needs him there in real
Yeah.
time. I just
I
we
just think
need
we need a
somebody.
vet receiver. We need
We
vet
need
number
somebody.
one.
Say
So yeah, but then the question is, will Devontae? I mean, do do Jackson? Will he staying out on the field from first quarter to fourth quarter? Like, is
I don't
he
know.
built enough? Because I mean, how old is he? 33, 30.
he's
You know what I'm saying?
He's
34.
30. I think he's 33, 34.
He about to
Yeah. So if you 33, 34, I don't know if you could stay on the field that long. And then, um, with Odell Beckham, I mean, I would love to have him here, but I just don't know what he got anymore as far as with his knee and his
Mm-hmm.
ankle. You know what I'm saying? So
But it was just a thought because a lot of these young up and coming quarterbacks, Josh Allen, Herbert, Kyler Murray, have all gotten these dominant pure number one. Keenan Allen, Stephon Diggs, DeAndre Hopkins.
that's who I wanted. I wanted Stephon Diggs, but obviously the money wasn't there at the time. So
So it's like
Howie Roseman could have took him in the sixth
if
round.
we
But he
if
decided
we could if
yeah,
we
how
could
about
just
that?
if
How
we could
about that?
get a bona fide number one vet, it'll take pressure off Devontae. I think it'll help Jalen more. I think it'll just open up our offense a lot more, open the run game up. I mean, I just think the offense will get a lot better if you have a dominant, pure number one.
Yeah, we just got to get balanced, man, because when you look at the Eagles offense, it's pretty clear. Double team Devontae, look out for Dallas Goddard. Make sure your defensive ends, QB spy Jalen Hurts, and they're not going to run the football, so it is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's vanilla, man. It's just vanilla. So
Well, that's the word for tonight, balance. But this is what it is. It's already been an hour and 8 minutes. So
Oh, score
until
prediction.
then, good. Oh yeah,
Score
my
prediction.
prediction is actually my prediction is a good one. I say 23-17 Eagles.
Oh, okay.
who we playing again?
The
LA.
Chargers.
Jordan Mailata, he had a rough game against
Mm-hmm.
Unique Ngakwe. When I look at Joey Bosa, he's going to tear him
Joey,
to pieces.
Joey's gonna be a lot more on Johnson's side.
No,
Lane
they're going to
Johnson.
switch him. They're going to switch him.
I know
Check.
they're gonna switch him, but I mean he's gonna be on Johnson's side
Okay.
more often than not.
Um, I just think the Chargers have too much firepower. I'm not going to sit here and lie. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know. And I can't trust it. I don't trust his coaching staff.
Mm-hmm.
One game against the worst team in the National Football League, I'm not buying the ticket still. So for me, I got the Eagles losing. I got them losing 31-17.
Mm,
Okay.
okay.
I'm gonna be a little positive. I do think if I do think we'll compete with the Chargers. I'm not 100%. I mean, I don't know what Gannon's gonna be. So if I had to say, I'd go 30-27 Chargers. I mean, I do think the Eagles have the possibility of winning this game. It's just it all depends on how the coaching staff comes out and look. Are they gonna come out pass, 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 or are they gonna come out like Detroit game, run dominate, run this ball down their throat, pause, and just win with the trenches in time of possession.
But even with you saying that, not Mooch, I ain't trying to create another whole conversation. I just want to just make that little mental note. It's like that's so weird the way we're even thinking. Like, man, we can win the game if our coaches. Normally, you focus on the players, but we're our thought process in Philadelphia is, man, can our coaches just do the right thing so that our players can do the right thing? Other teams, our players just need to do the right thing. And that's why I don't have any confidence this week going up against the Los Angeles Chargers.
Listen, not a problem. So, other than that, we're going to watch the game on Sunday. Then we're going to come right back at 10 o'clock that night on Sunday. And we're going to talk about it. So, until then, this is the House of Birds.
House of
Moochie. Got Pablo, Gary. We got Danny. So, until then, we out.
Fly, Eagles, fly, baby.
Fly like an eagle.